Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to BND Live, the Dungeons and Dragons live stream, where a group of high school friends attempt to play Dungeons and Dragons remotely via the internet. With us, as always, we have Stephen as Dromm the sorcerer, Tim as Vinny the rogue, Erin as Agnes the bard, Nakul as Serpen the paladin, and I am Shawn, your ever faithful and humble DM, and this is BND Live. All right, folks. Let's do a little recap, shall we? A little recap, Rooney.
Gapperoonie.
Is the saying right? It was dark noon. Drom and Serpen found and talked to Swabia, and they set up a meeting for later that night with one of the underground magic users of Augsburg. Meanwhile, Agnes makes some calls using the sending stone. She asks Elsa to send a message to Asura, who she does a good job of describing. Unfortunately, the message, "We have escaped the lair through portals, in desert, get yourself out of there and safe and sound," does not make it through the first time, but Elsa promises to keep trying. Agnes then contacts Finric and Dromm, who explain how they're in a beautiful land, about to cross a river to South Gorson, and some confusion about where Finistel is, brought up, as well as musings on where the bounty's edge might be. That night in Yars, a sketchy, arcane individual leads Dromm and Serpen astray at a cost of some silver. Much talk of wolves. ... Leaving the back alley, they then go to the harbor and spot a shop that might be helpful in the morning. Back in the desert, the Duke and Twizzard spot some odd lumps, which are bodies of two dwarves killed by sword and with no identifying information on the bodies. However, some giant scorpions have also laid claim to the bodies, and a fight ensues. Agnes goes down, but one scorpion is wounded enough to leave, and the other two take the bodies and leave as well. Dillick morning. Dolgar Botswin is the owner of a shipping company that has a ship going to Silent in Lucknall the next day, and another going to the coastal kingdoms in 2 days' time. Varu, the harbor master, knows the Bounty's Edge left harbor, but he's heard rumors that it's moored outside of Quadin, the capital of Stutlafen, the city-state to the south. Evar, the owner of the fishing ship the Sinking Gull, is going to Quadin this day. Dromm and Serpen book passage and set off on a 3.5-day journey. Dillick morning, the desert folk spot a city still about 10 miles away, rising from the desert. And that's where we'll pick things up. Let's go to the desert.
Wait, it's 3 days from Yars to Quadin?
On the ship.
100 miles?
I'll double check that while the desert people think about what they want to do.
I wake up and eat a sandwich.
It's morning, you said? So we've been walking all night, right?
You've been walking all night. Exactly.
So then we'll probably want to take our long rest with a tiny hut.
Well,
and then
Are we close to the city?
He said about 10 miles.
You're still about 10 miles off.
Okay. Does it look like a cool city or like a dump? Like, I know there's nowhere else to go, but do we want to stop
there? Give me
there?
a perception check.
Ooh.
I mean, I think that we're going to have to try to get food and water to make sure that we could survive more days in the desert and have food for the Duke.
22.
Wow. Yeah, you sort of peer through, and the heat of the day is not fully upon you yet. It looks like a pretty cool city. It's got buildings of varying styles. There's no wall around it per se. There might be some sort of central, sort of taller building. You can't really make out too much from this far away.
Well, if there's no wall, it'll be easier to sneak in at night.
We might not have to sneak in. It might just be a regular cool city.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling I will be going invisible if possible.
Duke's gonna drag down our style. Is the Duke awake?
Oh yeah, I mean you've been walking all night. You haven't actually been asleep yet.
Okay, all right. Is he like tired and tasty?
It's
I'm
only been
holding
like a day and a half. Come on. We could survive a day and a half even without rations.
All right.
And we do have rations. We just don't have a lot.
Why are you looking at me that way?
No reason. I look in my pouch to see if I have any spices. Just out of curiosity.
Whatever you got with you. I don't know if you brought spices. Is
Yeah.
Vinny never without their pouch?
Gonna be a little tough if I don't come up with any spices.
Do you even know how to make a fire?
It doesn't matter. We're in the desert. You don't have to do much to make a fire. If there's anything here, it would burn.
I think that's right.
All right, well, I will spend my 10 minutes and 1 minute casting Lehman's tiny hut so that we can have some shelter from the sun while we get a long rest.
All right, I cartwheel into the hut because I can.
All right, Nakul, I checked, you're right. It's more like 90 miles. So, and a ship going downriver could probably do at least 15 a day. So it is a shorter trip than I said. So I think
So 6 hours?
no, not 6 hours.
Oh.
50
Not quite
miles
15
in a
miles?
day.
Oh, that's like
And it's,
6.
and it's
That's
90
like,
miles. So it's
that's
like
like
a day.
6 days.
What?
Wait, 19 divided by
You
15
can go
is 6.
100 miles in 2 days on a ship.
Oh,
So it's going to be less than
All
2
right.
days.
okay. Seems slow.
That's okay. I mean, I was the one who was rolling. You
It's
called
not,
me.
it'll go pretty fast.
Need more wind.
Can we roll
No.
for a faster ship?
Ooh.
Well, you can roll to see
No.
if the weather's good.
Oh yeah,
It's a
dude.
river. It's a river though, right?
Sure. Go ahead, roll a d8, Dromm. Let's see how the weather is.
All right.
Lower is bad.
No, you might screw yourself. He rolled a 0.
3.
3?
Yeah.
3, I usually say it's like overcast, looks like it might rain.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's good. I won't get sunburned.
Definitely will not get sunburned.
So I got to
Though
put on
those
my
cloudy
my
days
Dromm
can be a
cadence.
little dangerous because
Hmm,
it might lull you into a false sense of security.
that is true.
Your skin is blue and you get sunburned. What color does it turn?
Gray?
Orange.
Good question.
Reddish?
What skin? What color does your skin turn?
Wait, is that up to me?
Purple.
I would say like a deep purple.
Deep purple. That sounds good.
All right, cool.
Cool. So we're just hanging out on the boat.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to do on the boat?
So we're on the boat, and we're going.
On the boat.
I'm on a boat, and we have our nice new outfits,
Mhm.
all our cool weapons, all our gold. Do we know anybody on the boat?
That captain.
Yeah. So I guess we just chill until we get to quad.
All right. So
Hmm.
we'll fast
Quad
forward
in.
through this day basically then, which is great, frankly, because it catches us up to the other group. All right. Evening in the desert. Your tiny hut. Your tiny hut lasts 8 hours. Would you recast that, or what are you thinking?
Well, it depends on when we left the day before. I think it was supposed to be like as the sun was starting to get lower. So we still had some sunlight. but it wasn't, as high in the sky. It was probably, maybe a half hour before sunset. That we started.
6 p.m. or so.
Yeah, so we'd probably try to do something similar. I mean, we would probably be able to walk during the morning, right? When the sun is still low in the sky.
Exactly. Yeah. If you walked in until like 9 or 10, and then had 8
9 or
hours
10.
in the hut,
Okay.
I think that all makes sense.
I leave the hut, but I don't use the door. I cut through one of the walls.
There is no door.
Well, I cut through a wall.
Okay. He cuts through a magical wall.
All right, that happens.
Sweet. I look and see if
Excellent.
anyone saw me do it. Then
All
I nod
right,
at them.
so
The
we
Duke
should
is looking at you
probably
oddly.
head somewhat in the direction of that city. However, I don't think that we should plan on staying in the city. I don't know if we would be able to get in and get out unscathed.
I think we're gonna have to play this by ear because we have no clue what's coming up. It could be a cool city. We might want to stay.
No, Elsa said that both of the cities that are in Dessin are not nice cities.
Well, she's old. She might not want to party as hardy as we do now. She might be looking for something like a sewing club, while we're looking for a club.
I was knocked unconscious by a scorpion. I don't really have the hit points to just go all willy-nilly into a city that could or could not be hostile.
Let's get you healed up.
I am healed up. We just had a long rest.
Let's
It's true,
go.
you did have the benefits of a long rest.
Let's go figure out what's with this city.
All right, so you guys pack up camp, as it were, have some of your rations, and you start walking toward the city as the sun is setting. Agnes, you pick up on it first, but you see movement along a dune a little off in the distance between you and the city. Sort of squint, use your half-elf eyes. Give me a perception check.
$23.
Yeah, you see a person on a camel.
And they are moving.
Mm-hmm.
They're not stopped.
Just sort of moving along.
All right. All right. Well, I'm not going to do anything to try to get their attention. I'll just keep them in my sight and
All right.
see if they change in any way. If they start coming towards us or moving further away, I'll just keep my eye on that.
All right.
So her half elf eyes saw a camel. Do my full elf eyes see anything?
Do you draw Vinny's attention to this, Agnes?
Sure. I'll say, hey, Vinny, what do you make of the figure on the camel over there on the dunes?
I say that guy is sitting on a camel.
No,
Give me
I
a
think he's
perception
walking
check.
next to it.
I was talking
No,
about the
he's
invisible
sitting
guy
on
that
it.
I could
He's
see.
sitting
No,
on it.
he's sitting on it. Okay.
That's the
He's
guy.
sitting on it.
That's the same guy. He's sitting on a camel.
Are you going to do a perception check?
Well, should I? I'm just gonna see a guy sitting on a camel, right? Okay,
Yes.
I guess I would like to perceive with a 23.
He sees the same
What
thing
did
I do.
it- Is that the same that you did?
I got
All right, so
23.
let's see. Bonus to bonus to full elf eyes. You see a person. Actually, you catch sight of a monkey, or some sort of animal. Could be a monkey.
Just a guy you saw, huh? Is that all you see? And a camel? That's the only life you see over there?
He might have rolled.
Don't think that's right.
He might have rolled higher, but he has a lower plus on his perception. I have a +7. He only has a +3.
I am a high elf. In fact, manly.
You're both walking closer. Agnes now picks up that there's some sort of like animal scampering around the guy's shoulders. And actually, Agnes, at this point, you probably pick up the distinctive shape of a loot case on the camel as well.
Oh, so I might actually feel comfortable enough with conversing with this person.
And I will converse with the monkey.
All right. I think that seeing the loot case gives me some confidence in at least being able to play music as a way of conversing.
Sure.
So I might
He's by himself?
I might start playing my my tin whistle. I think that it might travel a little further on the air.
It definitely does. You can see the guy on the camel sort of alter course and start coming toward you guys.
I also get out my musical instrument and start playing
oh,
it.
No.
No boy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as good traveling across the desert.
Ooh, nice camel.
Yeah. It's pretty
Hey,
good.
monkey. Saw that monkey.
Figured if we're in
So-
the desert.
Agnes will say, "Hello, fellow wanderer and storyteller."
Oh, hello. I am Colster, the bard. Who are you?
I am Agnes of Skye. I am also a bard.
Ah,
Vinny.
excellent. He hops down.
These
from
are
the
my travel companions, Vinny, Vuvuzela,
Mhm.
and I probably don't want it. Well, I don't know if I should say that he's the Duke.
Mr. Hors d'oeuvre.
Well, and I'll say, and sir, would you like to introduce yourself so I can give the Duke the chance to make his
Sure.
own mind.
He sort of looks at you and he's like, I'm Stephen Sand.
The Earl of Sandwich.
And Colster sort of like, uh-huh. And you notice when he jumps down from the camel that he's quite a bit shorter than you.
Would I
what did-
would I recognize him as a halfling since
Yeah.
Finric is a halfling?
Yeah. That sounds about
Okay.
right. What brings you to the sands of Dessin?
Actually, a portal did.
Ah, sounds like it has the makings of a song.
It does, but I have not had an opportunity to make one. We've been a little worried about our rations, and so we are trying to figure out how to get to a safe place.
Ah, you're but a single day's or single night's journey to Kiab, the most wonderful city in all of Dessin.
Is it a good city? Is it safe? We'll be all right there.
Oh, of course it's safe. It is the Bard City.
Oh.
Have you not heard
well,
of Vanar the Fantastic? He runs
What?
all of Kiab.
Sounds loud.
I mean, would Agnes know of this being a traveling bard? Should
Actually,
I roll
yeah,
for
you would have known that name. I don't know if you would know like
where,
his
but I would
connection
know
to
who are.
Dessin, but you would have heard that name.
Okay. Oh, yes, I have definitely heard of Vinar. However, I did not know that he resided here.
Ah, yes. He's a very just ruler.
Oh, so not only is he a bard, but he is the ruler of this area.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, maybe this will be a decent place for us to get our rations and.
Who was worried?
Well, I was not being familiar with the area, you know, just being dropped in, not knowing exactly where I was, except for that's surrounded by sand.
I cast Mage Hand and pet that monkey.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh no.
Is this an invisible mage hand?
Yes. 3. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're like, I mean, you're used to controlling the mage hand, but it's like a monkey that's like actively moving on the back of a camel, so it's like twice as hard, and you're doing it remotely. So you kind of just like end up spanking the monkey. That came out wrong. And it jumps.
Oh,
it
boy.
Jumps off
Not
the
safe for
camel
work.
and sort of runs behind Colster.
Uh-oh.
What Easy.
What happened? I have no idea what
Sorry
happened.
about
Desert
that. Did
winds.
you say it is invisible hand?
I
He
think-
uses the mage hand as an
I
invisible
think it's
hand.
invisible.
He
Okay.
can make it either or because
Oh.
he's an arcane trickster.
Can I?
Yes,
Okay.
that's one of your special abilities.
Yes. Excellent.
I'm so glad I know more about Tim's character than
I'm
he
also
does.
glad. I'm very glad. All right. Hey. Do you? What do we want? We ultimately don't want to get back with these guys, but
But we don't know where they are.
do you? Are there any magic users in?
Oh,
was it
of
Rio?
course. Yeah, there's a land of magic. The magic
Well,
of
I mean-
song, the magic of mystery, and traditional magic as well.
Ooh.
Yes, most bards do have some magical abilities.
Well, I'm not looking for some. That some is
Oh.
very nice. I'm very happy for those bards. I'm looking for lots. Is there someone who
ours,
has a lot?
Top tier magic user. Now, he does charge for the privilege of his services.
Ooh. Excellent. Okay. Not excellent, actually. Where could we find him in this city?
Why?
Or
in the
could we
center
just-
of it.
Oh, in the center. Okay. That definitely is sounding more expensive. Okay.
Well, are you heading towards the city?
He sort of looks over your group again. I think I just might be.
Well, if you wouldn't mind accompanying us, we would love to share our stories. If you would mind sharing some of yours too, I love to hear them.
Ah, I would love to share them. Aziz, get the camel. And you see the monkey like jump back onto the camel. Come on, monkey.
And right now, I'm like, who has the stuffy monkey? Is it Mr. Twizzard?
Mr. Twizzler Stuffy is dead. It exploded doing something.
Oh, I think it was. I
thing
think
is-
it was creating a distraction,
Yeah,
so it
that-
was worth it.
That thing's gone.
All right, so you guys start heading across now. As the stars come out and the sun goes down fully, you head toward the. Now you can sort of see sparkling lights here and there in the city across the dunes.
I think I'm still as excited as I am as this being a bard city. I think that Agnes is still going to be on her guard, so she'll probably make sure that her hidden dagger is at the ready. You know, like she probably has one hand pretty close to it, just in case. She's been
Understood.
gone through too much.
All right, so meanwhile, you folks have sailed down the river for basically the entire day and through the night. And so the next morning, you awake still Swabia to your right, talking to the other people on the ship. You learn that the country to the left is Aland. Do you have any questions for the crew as you sail south?
Was that for me or for Dromm?
For both of us.
Oh,
I don't know that
Uh,
Dromm would have any questions.
well, yeah. So we're going down Swabia to Quadin. Wait, so we're not in Quadin yet?
Not in Quan yet. Sorry.
Mhm.
We can fast forward again if you want.
How much?
Yeah, if you want to talk to the sailors and learn about where you are,
Yes, maybe that's a good idea. Let's find some.
you certainly don't have to.
Let's find some sailors to talk. Let's go find some
Hmm.
sailors to talk to, John.
All right. How about this one?
Yeah, he looks like a
Point at one.
prim young lad. Let's understand what he's up to.
All right. So
Are you from around here?
yeah, I am. I was grown up in Swabia. Yeah.
I'm Dromm.
John, oh, good to meet you. Where are you from?
I am from what was it? Is it technically Dessin or is it? Where does it? What are the mountains?
You would say the Everska Mountains, probably.
I'm from the Everska Mountains.
I do not know where that is.
It's yeah. I mean, I know where it
Long
is, but I
way?
don't
Is
know
it
where
short
this
way?
is, so I couldn't tell you how to get between the two. Where's Swabia?
Where is Swabia?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right here. It's right over there. He gestures toward the.
Oh, oh, sorry. I guess I mean like what's near Swabia? Like where? What is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a land over there. A land.
Aland.
Alan.
That's on our left, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Swabia and Alan.
Yeah.
That's all I know really.
And what's your name, young sailor?
Marcus.
Marcus. Have you ever been as far west as Oxnard?
No, I have never left Stuttlafen or Augsburg.
Oh.
Are you
Have you ever
from Oxnard?
Yes. I'm from Wesleyville. Wait, is it Wesleyville?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Is that part of these mountains that your friend is from?
You might be from the other
Your
side of the
home-
mountains. I'm down
home in the
below, not
mountains?
at the mountains. I'm near the water. I have
well,
I also am
no better
involved
water
with the sea.
than. Oh, sorry. What was that?
I'm also involved with the water. You know, I dig for pearls. I have quite a business.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we get much fish from the river and from the South Sea. Your pearls, they are worth lots of coin.
Yeah, it depends on the buyer, but yes, they like what they see.
He sort of gives you another look up and down. You both have brand new fancy outfits. Says, you like to play dice?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, dice. Come. He sort of gestures down to a little staircase down to a hold you haven't noticed before. There's a couple other sailors in there, and he sort of gives a nod to them, and they quickly bring over a table with some dice on it. We play dice. Yes.
Do we know how to play dice?
How hard can it be?
I mean, you probably would have done some gambling.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily know their brand of it. It's easy game. You have dice. You need dice. Need to borrow dice.
Yeah, I don't have any on me.
Got a few.
Oh,
All right. So go ahead and get. Yeah. Go ahead and how many d6s do you guys have?
how many d6s?
I have 3.
If you just use the app, you could roll 5 d6s.
Where's
Do you
Why
see?
not?
You know the game Liar's Dice?
What's the name?
Oh, Honest Dice. You tell exactly what you have, and then other people tell what they have, and they. No, I'm just kidding. It's called Liar's Dice. You've never played Liar's Dice?
Mm.
No, but I've lied before.
I played a game
I
called
played dice, so
I played a game called Bullshit, but that's with cards.
Ah, well, it's probably similar. All right. Take your dice, and he hands each of you a set of 5, sort of carved. Don't know if it's bone or ivory. Not quite sure. Dice. So do you guys have a way of rolling 5 d6s?
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it now. Hold up. 5 d6s.
All right. Yeah, it's very
Nine.
simple rules.
19.
You roll 5 d6s. No, he doesn't say that. He says you roll your dice, and then you keep a secret, and then you make a bid, and then the next person has to make a bid. It has to be bigger either in number of dice or in the value of the dice. So, for instance, if I roll and I say 2 twos, the next person they could say 3 twos. They could say 4 threes. They could say 5 threes. They say whatever they want as long as one number is higher. And basically what you're saying is how many are on the table at the end. So we keep going around in circle until one person says you're lying, and then everybody looks. And if you're lying, you lose. If you're not lying, you win.
Sounds good. Who rolls first?
Oh, we all roll at the same time, my friend. But first,
Exactly.
we put in coin, and he puts a silver piece. Not too rich for folks like yourselves?
It is not too rich. I guess I put in a silver coin.
All right. Serpent, you as well?
Yes, I do.
All right. All right, go ahead and roll your 5d6s. Would you like me to start?
Yeah.
All right. I'll say 2 threes. And let's just, for the purposes of this, let's say Dromm, you're next, and then Serpent.
2 sixes.
Whoa. Oh. Listen to this guy. What you say? Oh, sorry. What was your name again? He looks at you, Serpent.
Yes, you can call me Pen. Or Sir Pen. But Pen.
Pen, do you want to say 3 sixes?
I would like
Or you
to.
could call him liar.
Those are my only 2 options.
It's too late. I forgot to mention. Is it too late? Ones we typically play wild, but it might be too late for this round. Is it too late for this round? You tell me. You're the guest.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm okay with that.
So what are my options? I have to say he's saying
Your friend
bullshit or
said
whatever.
3 sixes, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you think there are 3 sixes between all of our dice, including ones which are wild, then you could say, well, no, if you think there are 3, then that would be true. If you think there are 4 sixes, you could say 4 sixes. Now, you only know your dice. You don't know his dice. You don't know my dice.
Can I say a different number?
Yeah, could you say
Unfortunately,
3 fours?
No, it's you
Didn't
said
Dromm say
that.
2 6? Didn't Dromm say 2 sixes?
Yeah. So could you say 3
Oh, you
fours?
said 2 sixes? Yes,
Did say
yes. You
2
could say
sixes.
larger number of different things. We play those rules. Sure. It varies.
Okay, so can I say 3 5s?
You could. 5 fours.
Bullshit. Wait. Can we call
So
it?
you, my large friend. What is your name?
Drum.
John. What do you say to my 5 fours?
I say, you are lying to me, sir.
Oh! And he reveals his cup, confident in his dice, and you actually see 4 fours and a 5.
What?
So does anyone else have a 4?
Yes.
You could try to, if you want to switch it to something else, you could do sleight of hand, but it would be against his perception.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't want to.
Wait, he said,
All right,
what did he say?
I
He
get
said 5
silvers
fours?
then. Now you understand game. We play another round?
Sure.
I paid
Yeah,
3
sure.
silvers. How much you
3,
paid?
yeah?
He put in 3. He put in the 3 he just got.
All right.
You see him?
Yeah. Done.
Serpent, what are you putting in?
So how much can I put in?
Current ante is 3 silvers.
All right, so I guess I'm putting 3.
All right. All right, now we roll again. Yes, keep it secret.
Okay.
All right, I guess I start as the winner of the last round. I say 4 threes.
I say 4 ones.
That's his same number and smaller numbers. That's not good. And ones are wild. No, don't use ones. Okay, larger number.
Okay, sorry. What did we say?
Which one's the larger number? The one that you used? We can only go larger? Still trying to
Correct.
get these
Yes, you
rules.
have to go larger in one dimension.
And
Either the
what
number
did you
of the
say?
dices need to be larger, or the dices of the number need to be larger. It's easy.
Okay, sorry. So what was the last?
4 threes.
Oh, I think it should be 4 fours.
4 fours. Oh, what do you say, Pen?
4 sixes?
4 sixes. I say 5 sixes.
I say 6 fives.
So, Pen, you could say 6 sixes or 6 fives, but those are your only choices.
Or I can say BS.
Or you can call him a liar.
Liar?
All right, we all reveal. He lifts up his cup. He has a 6, a 5, and a 5.
I have 3 ones, a 4, and a 5. So I have 4 fives.
Great. And I have a 5.
It looks like Dromm gets it.
I win. Okay.
All right, so you get 9 silver. He looks a little upset by that, the fact that he just lost his silver.
Do you want to play again?
Of course. Should we Abzantia a bit? One of his friends comes over to the table and sort of sits.
I feel like they're gonna rob you if he loses again.
Yeah.
You won't stand for that.
He
What,
puts a gold on the table. His friend puts a gold on the table as well.
Sure. Okay.
Gold?
All right.
All right. I'll throw down gold.
They're trying to see how much money you have.
Now keep in mind, there's 5 more dice in the game. Okay, keep it up here in your head. You know.
What 5 more dice?
Your opponents.
There's now 4 people playing.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. You've won the last round, Dromm. It's your turn.
Okay. I will say 4 threes.
Let's say Pen is. Oh, actually, no. I guess it'd be the new guy. We could just do this layout here. The new guy is like. Wait, sorry. What'd you say, Joe?
4 threes.
5 fives. Oh. Sven does not mess around. 5 fives. I will say 7 fives.
I will say 8 fives.
Say 9 twos.
Liar.
What was that?
Liar.
Oh, okay. I guess let's show our dice.
All right. You said how many twos? 9?
9.
And how many do you have?
Including the wild, I have 4.
All right. They lift up both their cups, and they have no 1s and no 2s.
Hey, Sir Pen, you don't happen to have 5 twos, do you?
I have 0. No
Huh.
ones either. Yeah.
Guess I was lying. That's a fun game.
Flip the
Well.
table on.
Perhaps we play later for more fun.
Yeah. We're gonna go admire the water some more.
So you guys sort of go upstairs and they see you leave. All right. Meanwhile, out in the desert,
That's hot.
It's nighttime.
I'm gonna eat that.
Probably
food.
getting cold.
What's your passive perception job?
Who'd you ask?
Dromm, sorry.
Wait, what?
Do you know what your passive perception is, Dromm?
Oh, sorry. I think my passive perception is 13.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the desert,
Why do you ask? Oh,
no
sorry.
reason. Just making sure I had the right number.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the desert, what's going on? You're walking with Goldfath.
I forget this guy's name.
Goldath?
Gold ass.
Goldstein? Goldston? I think it's Goldston.
Colster. Colster the Bard.
Colster.
Colster. Okay.
Like
Kolster.
holster with a K.
Colster those weapons.
Holster with a K. Colster.
Oh man.
You guys are gonna love. You're gonna love. Whoa. You're gonna love Kiev. It's a great city.
I am eager to see it.
Agnes, play us a song.
All right, I will play, and as I play, I kind of want to do an insight check on Colster.
Okay. What are you looking for, and what are you playing? And is your playing going to help you get this insight?
I mean, the playing itself, I don't think will. I mean, I could play something that I might think is a halfling song, like from halfling lore, or.
Do you want to do a duet so I can take over parts of
No.
it and you can
No.
use your eyeballs to?
No, really,
See
I just
things?
I want to have it so that I'll probably be playing the tin whistle. I'm not going to take my lute out because it's very difficult to walk and play the lute. It's easier to play the tin whistle.
Sure.
And just as I'm playing, because I'm not actually speaking, I'll just use my eyes to kind of, check out Colster, maybe look at the clothes that he's wearing, how he carries himself, maybe look at what the camel has on it,
Yeah.
if there's any weapons.
Give me an investigation check for the visual looking as you're walking and playing.
All right. That is a 14.
The
I mean,
camel
I am
seems
playing
like
at the same time.
the camel seems like it has a couple sort of saddlebags slung, one on each side type of thing. You notice that Aziz the monkey grabs like a date out of there every once in a while. But other than that, it's a pretty sparse camel, but it's a camel. I mean, he's got a camel.
We got nothing.
You see his lute case. It looks like he might also have He's got a necklace on of some kind. You're not sure what's on it, whether it's you're not sure what's on it. You just see this leather strap around his neck, and he's got a few pouches and things on his waist. Pretty normal stuff for a traveler. Not like extravagant or anything, but
Okay. All right. Should I roll performance? I don't know if it
Sure.
matters. Okay.
are you? Well, I guess what are you trying to achieve?
Oh, I was just so that maybe he's not suspicious that I'm also looking at him.
Okay. All
I rolled
so,
a 12.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's a decent song. Again, as you said, you're walking.
Walking and looking and
Walking
not
and
really
looking
paying.
and playing your halfling song. And he's digging it. He's digging it. The Duke is loving it. The Duke is loving it. He's been like stuck in a void for the last year. So, you are very very good there, Agnes. Would you care to hear a song? What interests you of late?
Well, I'm not sure if I know too much of the music from this area, so I wouldn't mind hearing something that is maybe kind of the region.
All right. Well, luckily for you, I am of the region, and I know many songs. You, Vinny, what anything on your mind lately?
If you know anything from Lucknow, I used to live up there and remember some songs that I heard while I was passing through there. If you know anything from there, that might be nice.
Ah, they have had some troubles. Not too recently, I guess, but in the past.
Yeah, you could say there's been some troubles.
You know of these?
I'm well aware of them, yes.
Ah. What do you know?
Well, truth be told, I used to live there, and I used to live there with my. I don't know why, but I feel like I can open up to this guy, so I'm gonna. But I used to live there, and my family lived there, and one night they all got slaughtered, but I wasn't there. I was out practicing sneaky arts, and I came back just in time to see the aftermath. So I didn't see who did it, but well, I kind of did. But anyway, I've been hunting whoever did it since that night. You didn't do it, did you?
No, it sounds like a terrible tragedy, though, my friend. I'm sorry
Yes.
to hear that.
Bad neighborhood.
I hope that you get justice.
Oh,
for your
I'm getting
family.
it. I'm getting it.
I shall sing a song of justice.
That would be just.
And he launches into sort of a rousing song of two desert tribes. One had infiltrated the other and made off with both people and goods. And in retribution, the tribe overcame them in the desert and left their dead bodies in the sun, type of thing.
Ooh, is there truth to this song?
It speaks of the split. You see, Dessin. There are two main rivers in Dessin, the Lyell and the Jael. They split the country north and south, and it is said that song discusses how the two tribes originally split for good and sort of settled around their own river, and to this day there are still skirmishes that erupt in the center of Dessin every now and then.
Sounds like old songs.
But now it is your turn, Agnes. What would you play for me? something of your homeland, perhaps.
My homeland. Well, I mean, I could technically do the pyramid song, the Battle of the Ateum, but it wouldn't be as entertaining as when we would have the actual performance involved. So I could tell him that. But I would need my
Alright.
loot for that.
Okay.
So I guess,
We could perhaps take a rest, have some food, or you could play.
sure, we can do that. Short rest.
All right, so you guys take a short rest as Agnes gets out her loot and plays.
I might have to do some. Well, the problem with the minor illusion is I can really only get like one little thing, but I'll make a minor illusion to make it look like a pyramid.
The whole show you're putting on.
Wow.
I mean, just to have a little backdrop.
He's definitely impressed by your use of magic. His sort of eyes go wide. He doesn't interrupt the song, but he is impressed quite. When it ends, he's like, "You have magical powers yourself."
I'm also impressed. Is there truth to this story? I hadn't heard this story before.
Oh yes, this
The Duke
is
looking inquisitive as well.
99% truth. I had to put a slight little, poetic license to make sure that the words rhymed. But yes, this did happen. And you can even go see the pyramid in Windbell, which is where we are ultimately heading.
And this Mr. Twizzard character, was he real or did you just make him up? He sounds too good to be true.
Oh, well, he is one of a kind. They broke the mold when they made him.
I've got to meet him.
Well, if you travel to Windbell with me, you might actually get to meet him.
All right, it's on my list. Way at the bottom, but it's on my list.
So, yep. And in fact, what I know from talking with Twizzard and Finric, they said that they were in Aland and that they were about to cross a river.
Yeah.
And I have a map. Would I kind of know approximately where that was?
Yeah, you probably know they were going to South Corson.
So I can mention like, oh, well, right now they are in the land of Aland, doing some searching and adventuring on their own. We split ways because I was in the search of knowledge and they were in the search of a fiend.
A fiend? Perhaps a creature of some kind.
One of the most based creatures ever.
Based.
Perhaps a dragon.
Well, we've had our experiences with a dragon, but no,
Have you?
they're not after a dragon.
Well, Dessin is a land with many dragon stories.
More dragons here.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it
I
true
know
that
a
there's
song
a
about
dragon?
dragons. What's that?
Is it true that there's a dragon at the mountain,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Red Mountain?
And he grants you
There
wishes?
is. There are dragons. There are dragons to the northwest and the southeast and to the north. Would you like to hear a song about dragons? I know
Surrounded.
one.
Go right ahead.
It's called Two Queens, but I swear it's about dragons.
I
Would
believe
you
it.
like to hear it?
Yes.
Gather round, folks. I'll tell you a tale of the dark queens locked by the veil. They seek to destroy all that you see, and one another, and you and me. Listen real close, I'll tell you I know their secrets and flaws and how it will go. Learn the lines well, repeat after me, and learn the secrets to set us all free. Oh, say, hey, hey, the queens they do fight will never survive this long blasted night. When darkness comes to swallow the light, you will know our fight, and you will know the right. Oh, one dragon keeps, there's 5 in all. Here are the secrets to make them all fall. Blue's a scourge, but ever so vain. White's a hunter, afraid of the pain. Red's a seeker who never's complete. Black's so cruel no man can defeat. Green's an elder and could still be friend, but against all five you'll never defend. No, say, hey, hey, the queens they do fight will never survive this long-blasted night. The darkness it comes to swallow the light, and you will choose our fight, and you will choose the light. Unseen the spider, the dark queen hoards, tablets in pieces, hold out all accords. Amulets wrought, they say there are 5. The power within shall keep her alive. Bringing her here is always too soon, and shadows the price once paid by the moon. A choice must be made, alone or in pairs. To go to the side, you'll all to take fares. Oh, say, hey, hey, the pigs as they fight will never survive this long-blasted night. The darkness it comes to swallow the light, and you will win our fight. And you will win the right. He sort of like comes out of this like very excited. He's like, oh, sorry, I always get carried away when I sing that. It's been a long time actually.
That's a good song.
Now, I would love to learn this song. Would it be possible for me to write down these lyrics? And
Of
I happen
course,
to
of
have,
course.
I do have paper and my pen in my bag. I'm
Okay,
sure.
let's walk and converse, and I'll transcribe them for you.
All right, because Agnes heard something about amulets and 5 of them, and now she's like all ears.
All right.
She was definitely intrigued with the 2 queens and the night and the light, but she wasn't thinking too much about it because, hey, night, light, they rhyme, and hey, it is what it is. But spider, amulets, she is now all ears. And
All
she's
right.
going to ask, of course, probably a million questions as to where did Colster learn the song? How long has he known it? Where does it originate from? And so on, and so on, and so on.
Yeah,
Good.
he
Definitely good
describes
story.
it as he learned it from other bards in Kiev, the main city. It is he describes it as a song that will it's a very
Prophetic.
what's that?
Prophetic.
Oh, he doesn't know so much of that. He sort of sees it as a song, but he knows it's very some people love it, some people hate it.
Okay.
Some people react very strongly negatively to it, but
Doesn't
some people
affect
just
us.
like really enjoy it and sort of they all join in the chorus and they act out battling between the 2 queens, that type of thing. So it depends. He's like, you must be sure of your audience when you sing this one.
I think I might know someone who would enjoy it. Someone in Windbell that would greatly appreciate the history that might be behind the song.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was good. I loved it.
So you guys sort of go through that. Meanwhile, halfway through the day, you guys arrive in Quaden, and the ship pulls in. Whereas Nyars was a very large city, as large as Wesleyville. This is more on the scale of not as small as Windbell, more Shea Dual side, which Nakul has no idea what that is. But it's like
That's
Something. It's more of a medium-sized city, I guess. But as the boat pulls up to a dock, you guys are welcome to come ashore. You notice that it's maybe not the most well-off city.
Uh-oh.
But Varu, No, not Paro. Paro was the guy he was the harbor master.
Are you talking about Marcus?
No, Arand or something. No, Avind. Something with A, right?
Yeah, Avir. Yep.
Veer.
So Avir is the owner of the Sinking Gull. So yeah, he says, would you gentlemen be coming further south with us, or is this where you're staying?
To the
As
south.
you were putting in, Serpen, you did see a ship with the Bounty's Edge painted on the back in the harbor.
Oh, really?
Someone's got higher passive perception than Dromm.
Hey, Dromm, that's the Bounty's Edge. Weren't we talking about that ship before?
That's the ship that that's going to take us to Windbell.
Window. You mean
Yes, I do mean.
Windell? Oh yeah, that's not Lucknow. Where the heck is Windell?
The south.
Uh,
South of Oxnard. It's the southernmost tip of Oxnard.
oh,
Or are we going
okay.
back to Wesleyville directly? I thought we were going to Windbell and then.
No, we are. That's what it was. I thought you were
I don't know what
talking
you guys
about
are doing.
Lucknow again. I was like, we're not going to Lucknow. Okay, all right.
I thought
Yes.
I thought we were gonna go
Oxnard.
back
That's
to
correct.
Wesleyville.
Yes. Let's go see that if that ship can take us.
Okay.
All right, let's go make our way.
How do we get there?
We see it in the harbor. So is there like a
You probably get a dinghy.
Pretend we're in the void again, and we'll just sort of think our way.
Two guys on the dock just reaching out towards the boat.
That's all they do now. They don't know how to move otherwise.
Yeah. Let's walk over there.
Spoiled.
People look at them
Spoiled
weird,
by
like, what are you doing?
Two guys walk straight into the water.
Giant gold dude just sort of.
Yeah, no, it's easy enough to pay a couple copper to someone with a dinghy to row you out there.
Oh yeah. Do we look around for some guy that has a dinghy?
Sure.
So
Guy
wait,
with a dinghy.
the boat is not docked.
It's moored.
You see a sandy-haired character walk up. It's like, oh, hey guys, how you doing?
Wait, Shitty Baggins?
Oh, no, I'm just they call me good smelling Baggins.
Smelly Baggins?
No, good smelling.
Oh, he smells good.
Wait, are you related to all the other Bagginses?
Who calls you that?
Everyone. And just then you see one of the guys get off a boat and he's like, hey, Stinky, and he walks past. Anyway, you guys need a boat or something? You're on the docks.
Yeah, we're trying to get to that boat. I point at the
No,
bounties.
I can take you there. I got a dinghy.
Okay.
Couple, let's see, 2 of you, maybe 4 copper.
All right, fine.
And
Oh,
Stinky
hey,
would
thanks.
kind of know, right, about that boat because we had, as the Ateum, hadn't we gotten off at that point?
Yeah, that's where you found the fight club.
That's right.
Support your bets.
5 silver is their max amount.
Poor Fight Club.
So yeah, you guys
Serpent,
follow.
you got the copper, or should I get the copper?
I put 2 down. You
Yeah.
want me to put another 2 down?
No, I got.
Oh, you got yours? All right.
You follow Stinky off to a smaller dock, and there's like a ramshackle little dinghy. It's got like a couple inches of water in the bottom, but he like quickly uses a hollowed out scoop and he's like, "Hey, it's good to go. Come on out. I'm strong."
So,
Dromm, you,
Go ahead.
how much do you weigh? You're a big guy, right?
Yeah, I'm up there. Does it say how much I weigh?
I don't know. Well, it's probably Goliaths usually weigh in the high 200s, low 300s. So you get in this dinghy and the thing is like, whoof, and like almost goes underwater, and like Stinky's almost like catapulted out of it. But Serpent, you quickly get in the other side to even it out. But the boat is very low in the water, and Stinky starts paddling as hard as possible. He's not making much headway. It's gonna be a very long trip. Hey, Hey, while I'm paddling, would one of you mind just grabbing that cup and just like scooping out some water?
Sure.
You can see like the water that he scooped out is slowly refilling the bottom of the boat.
So while we're sinking, do you what do you know about this boat?
This is my boat.
No, this boat.
Oh,
ship.
that
The
boat
ship.
out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The bounty's edge. Yeah, she came by. I don't know. Originally, maybe like 3 weeks ago, and then she went north up the river, and then she came back. Nate and Jenkins run her. They're a bunch of good guys.
You hear that, Serpen?
Jenkins.
Yeah, they're good guys.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Jenkins isn't much of a talker, but Nate's really nice.
My cat's on the boat too, or Lily's cat is on the boat to catch rats.
Stinky manages to pick up the pace a little as he sees the amount of water. Which one of you is bailing?
Which one of us is Bailey?
Maybe we're just taking
bailing the ship. Yeah,
let's say Dromm.
That's me. That's me.
Okay, let's say Serpen.
Just keep getting the water out.
I'll turn him into sinky dragons.
And he gets alongside the bounty's edge and, hey, what are you doing there, Stinky? It looks like your ship's sinking. It's fine, Nate. Here's some passengers for you. I didn't ask for passengers. Who are you folks?
Hey guys, I'm Dromm. This is Serpen.
We hear you guys are going out to Oxnard. You may be familiar with my pearl business. I am Sir Pen, the paladin. Paladin.
Aye, I've heard of you. What are you doing here? The boat is still sinking.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Furiously bailing. I don't know. I've seen a few things in my day, but what are you doing? And he's like, he still hasn't like thrown down a ladder or anything. He's still very much like, who are these people?
We went on an adventure.
Aye.
And we ended up
Right.
a little far from home.
And we were separated from our friends.
That's a right sad situation you're in, but I don't know you from the hole in the wall.
Well,
And who are you?
I'm Nate. Who are you? Oh wait, Sir Pen, right.
Where are you from?
Oh. We're from Windmill.
So can you help a fellow Oxnardian get back home?
He sort of like looks at Stinky, furiously bailing. All right. And he throws over a rope ladder that unravels along the side of the hull. All right, come up, both of you.
Getting back.
You guys like climb onto the rope ladder, climb up onto the deck. Stinky's like, okay, I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Stinky.
Stinky sinks away.
He rows, as fast as he can. After, stemming some more of the.
Lily's cat takes a liking to Dromm.
Is that the gray cat or no? That's the calico, right?
I think he's an orange tabby cat. Kind of matches her hair. I think that's what it is.
All right. Pretend this is the deck of a ship.
Oh.
Who are these guys?
good kitty.
Meow.
Looks like there's a holdup.
Meow.
All right,
Meow.
so
Meow pack.
Meow.
what is Lily's cat's name? They would know it probably.
Oh gosh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I gotta look that up.
Catters.
It might never have had one. I don't know. Maybe it did. I can't remember.
So
All right, so here's
yeah.
the deal.
Mhm.
As much as we'd like to get back to Windbell ourselves, honestly, we've been away a long time. But You see, our employers, we don't know where they are right now.
Maybe they're back at Windmill.
No drum. They're probably here somewhere.
I highly doubt it. We actually set them loose in a land. But after a week or so, we decided to come over here, stock up, and we figure they'll get in touch with us some way. They're pretty resourceful.
Well, when do you think you'd be going? Are you going? When can we go to Windmill?
No time soon, my friend.
Hmm.
This isn't exactly a trip that has a deadline on it. The schedule is flexible, to say the least.
Oh,
That may not work for us. Are
Who
you?
sent you to us?
well, we were trying to get back to our friends Vinny and Agnes, and we suspect maybe they're going back to Wesleyville. So we were going to try to get to Wesleyville, and we were trying to get a ship that could take us in that direction. We heard about yours.
Sorry, what was your friend's name?
Oh, Vinny Buvizela.
Yeah, no, I don't know him.
Oh yeah, and Agnes.
The
Oh.
bard.
Agnes, I know. You're friends with Agnes.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me something
are.
about her.
She likes to sing.
She's of Skye.
And she sings.
She does like to sing, and she is a Skye.
And she has
All right, we'll
a tiny hut.
I don't know anything about that. I do hear she bought some property in Windmill, though, but that was just a rumor when we left. She was trying to close some paperwork on it. That was a long time ago, as these things go.
Wait, so you know her from Windmill?
Aye, yeah. Agnes paid for part of the ship, along with her other adventuring friends, our bosses.
Huh.
Do you think your bosses might be in trouble somewhere that they need some help?
If anyone's in trouble, it's the people who face them.
Ooh.
So they're probably okay then, right? So you can just take us to see Agnes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry, where did you say she was?
We suspect that we hope to meet back up with her at Wesleyville.
Yes.
Wesleyville's a long journey, my friends.
Yeah, that's why we didn't want to walk. We found a boat.
And we're willing to go part of the way there, and we'll find our way from Windbell.
What do you think, Jenkins? How long would it take us to get to Windmill and back? He sort of looks over at Jenkins. 10, 11 days. So that'd be 20 days till we get back to our bosses at least. I don't know if I can do that.
Do we have a plan B?
Do you guys know any magic folk around here that we could maybe potentially contact our friends?
No, I don't. No, I don't. There might be
What
some
about
in
this?
the city.
What about your employers? Do they have any magic folk?
Oh, more than their fair share. Some that know more than they should. But, again, they're not around here. Now, you know what? They have some magical ways of talking, but they didn't leave us with one this time. Seems like a right mistake there.
Yeah. Are there do you know of any other magicians that are maybe a shorter sail from here? Something you would be willing to do?
Toulouse.
Oh, well, that's an interesting thing you got there.
You go into the ether plane.
Yeah. No, there's a city out in the islands of Sina. Are you familiar with it? Oh,
With the
sorry, no,
islands?
it's the city's Sina, the islands of Toulouse.
Ooh. But
I'm not familiar with it.
Running with the ship, the Vessin or Vessin's ship.
Now there might be folks who can use the magic here in Quaden. Though I doubt it.
But-
I haven't seen any sight of it. Toulouse is probably a better bet.
What's better? That
Duluth Island.
Toulouse, going to Toulouse
Toulouse?
would be a better bet.
Serpent?
Oh. Well, we gotta go where the magic is. We can contact our friends to let them know we're going to Oxnard. That is our number one priority.
Yeah.
Dromm.
It'd probably be about 6 days to Cena.
Jeez.
6 days back.
Hmm.
I could leave message here with the harbor master. If he sees a bunch of odd-looking folk with a giant 8-foot-tall skeleton, tell him we'd be back in 10 days.
Well, we sure would appreciate it.
What do you have in the way of payment?
Well, what do you need to compensate you for your time and the boat and the supplies?
Seeing as you're friends of Agnes, if you are friends of Agnes, he sort of gives you a hard look. Doesn't get much from it. I don't know. What do you think, Jenkins?
Meow.
Couple silver a day from each of them. Aye.
Meow.
Will you be bringing your own food, or will you be eating ours?
I think we'll need some of yours.
That
Call it 3 silver a day.
for 6 days? Maybe
Aye.
7? So 2-ish gold?
How's that sound?
Yeah, that works for me. 2 gold.
That works for me.
These guys are
When should we
cheapskates.
leave?
Say again?
When should we leave?
I'm good.
Now?
Jenkins, you hear that? We're
Meow.
setting sail again. Aye, sounds good. All right,
You must be getting bored.
back to the desert.
Good kitty.
I mean, technically, the cat could stay.
Yeah.
And couldn't the cat
You need a cat on
technically?
the ship.
Well, but here's the thing: if Lily was to bamf the cat to her,
Yeah.
Too
would the
far.
You
cat
couldn't
be
put it back.
able? Right, no, but would she be able to gain information from the cat?
Yeah, it can answer. It can answer simple questions.
Where the hell did the ship go?
Right, but that's what I'm just thinking. Like, if
Tell me,
if the cat was to stay in that city versus going on the boat, but I think it's going to stay on the boat because, like I said, it took a liking to Dromm.
Yeah, and if we get hungry too, it's good to have an extra.
Mm-hmm. Never say never.
I mean, like pretty hungry, right? It'd be like, skipping like at least a meal.
Well, the cat is catching rats, so you could eat the rats.
Well, now the cat's eating your food.
We'll see what happens.
This could get interesting. You have 6 days.
All right, so you guys are done with your short rest, and Agnes has transcribed the song, sent through the internet
All right.
to Tim's phone. Yeah, and the night is drawing to a close, and you're very close to the city now.
All right.
Any preparation you want to do before you get to the city itself?
I kick open the gates of the city.
There are no.
That's nope, not there yet.
Kick open
and
the
there's no
city.
gates.
I kick the air, enter the city.
I mean, like I said, Agnes is still going to be wary, and
Yep.
she's excited that this is a bard city, but she also had never heard of it being a bard city, and she finds that a little odd, that being a bard, she wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
So she's a little suspicious, but excited at the same time.
All right. Yeah, Colster is. So you're obviously new to Dessin and to Kiabin specifically. Um, there's a tavern. It's called the Windy Day Inn. Highly recommend it. Sue runs it. Wonderful girl.
Do they have
But,
a good specialty drink?
Aye, they do. Are you familiar with the inn? Or-
No.
No, but I'm familiar with specialty drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
We're going to try that.
Yep. Well, you'll definitely find that here in Kiev as well.
All right. And that was the Windy Day Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's enter. Well, I could take you right there, I suppose. I don't know if
Let's go.
I'm just sort of playing things by ear right now.
All right.
That's what a bard would say.
Lead the way.
And so, continuing to lead you and the Duke and Vinny and Aziz on the camel, you sort of the outer buildings, sort of half buried in the sand as the sun is just cresting, sort of casting this golden hour. It looks quite beautiful, if not a little bit desolate on the outskirts of the city. The buildings themselves seem to be built out of a stone that looks like the sand that surrounds it. Doors are often cloth material. As you get closer in, you see some two-story buildings here and there. Now, the buildings sort of come up around you as you sort of find your way to a main thoroughfare. And there's signs of the city waking up to some degree, signs of some people going to sleep who have been up all night. Some people acknowledge Colster. You hear a couple people call out Colster the Young. He seems to cringe a little at that and sort of gives little side eyes at Agnes. So you pick that up, and he's seeing if you notice people calling him Colster the Young instead of Colster the Bard. But you continue.
Well, I mean,
to
Agnes could probably assume that it's because of his height, or that
There's
he's
something.
just the younger version of maybe an older
Both.
person. Yeah.
Both good questions. But he eventually leads you to a two-story building with a sign out front that says Windy Day on it. It has sort of like little tilde-like lines engraved in it. Well, here we are. I'm going to see to some business before I get too tired to stand. Maybe I'll see you around.
All right.
Mm-hmm. You probably will.
And
We
with
don't
that,
necessarily plan on staying long, but we do hope to see you again.
he does some light footwork and jumps up onto the camel. He sort of walks off.
Bye.
You guys are left outside the inn.
All right. I go in and take a peek. Hopefully it smells good.
Yeah, no, it does smell good actually. It smells sort of like some spicy roasting meat. You're not quite sure what, but it's definitely someone's up and they're at the fires.
Well, we should probably get breakfast.
All right. So I tell that person 3 roast meats and 3 special drinks, please.
You guys go in and you find a seat, and you see another halfling walk up. She says, "Morning to you folks. What'll you have?"
3
You
meats,
say
3
what you
drinks.
said, I guess. By signature drinks, do you mean the quench sun?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it does sound good.
Long day of travel ahead of you.
At some point,
Quite
yes.
possibly, yes.
That's what you need. And she sort of goes off with that quizzical statement. The Duke is like, so what's the plan here? What are we doing here?
We are going to basically restock our rations, get rations for you if you need any kind of new clothes or equipment.
Yeah, you need stuff.
Yes.
You got
We
nothing.
should probably
Look at
get
you.
that here before
After
moving
traveling
on.
a couple nights through the desert, you realize that you're not really in the best clothes. At least something to like cover you. You've been sort of making do with your heavy cloaks, but it's been a little not ideal.
Yeah, at least 3 pairs of sunglasses.
No, but we're traveling at night.
Beach ball.
That's true. You are traveling at night. Yeah, maybe it's been fine. I don't know. Good point. Good
Still, it's
point.
cold at night,
It is cold at night. Generally speaking.
and it's sandy always.
Always sandy. Agnes is probably trying to dump some sand out of her boots. She probably did that outside the building.
There's a lot of sand
Not
in here.
in.
Onto the
Here's
table.
the
When she puts her boots back on, she thinks of what kind of animal does she think of?
Some animal.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Forgot you had those.
yeah. I was thinking about using them
Oh,
in
yeah.
the but I was like, oh, what kind of, I don't know if the bog would really leave much because it's all kind of watery. So I wasn't too worried about it. Now she'll probably think of like a camel because of Colster's camel.
There you go.
So she's leaving camel toes all over the place.
Spank the monkey. Sue comes back and puts down some. It's sort of a roasted and seasoned meat. Looks like it may have come off of sort of a spit roasted cut off of that. There's also bowls of some rather thick, some kind of grain. It looks like it's been boiled and lightly spiced at top. You can sort of see a swirl of the spice on top of the bowl. And there are some large flat breads that she sort of puts in the center of the table. And in front of each of you, she puts a glass about that tall, and there's sort of what looks like a egg yolk floating in the center of it. And she's like, so that'll be 6 silver for the drinks and 2 for the meal.
All right, I'll get this one, Duke, but next one's on you.
I will gladly pay you any expenses once we get back to my kingdom.
Sweet. All right,
So you're a duke, are you?
that's just his name.
Yes, my name is Duke Sand. Duke Sand.
Duke Sand, we call him.
All right.
Sometimes we like to call them Sandy Dukes, but you know.
Yep.
I
Duke
see.
Sand.
Well, my name's Sue Sara, and welcome to the Windy Day.
I grab some of that meat and eat it. Oh, it's so good. I look at the Duke and I go, oh man, you got lucky.
What do you mean I got...
What?
So he understands your meaning and gives you a odd look, and he picks up some and starts eating too.
Agnes is gonna try the signature drink.
All right. So it is actually an egg yolk, and the alcohol that it's in, it is alcoholic, is tequila adjacent, shall we say. So it's quite a bit of a pick-me-up. And it's weird. After you swallow it down, you feel like you have not been walking in a dry desert all day, and you feel strangely hydrated. Like you could probably walk like another half a day.
All right, I pound mine and I say, we need a gallon of this
Well,
stuff.
so that's exactly what Agnes is going to ask, is if this drink could be ordered to go or if it has a shelf life.
It does have a bit of a shelf life due to the natural ingredients. You could probably keep it safely for, I'd say, up to 6 days.
Okay. Would you happen to have containers to purchase it in? So if we wanted to cross the desert and
Yeah, we
have
need this
this
stuff.
as a little sustenance booster.
Mhm.
I think I have just the thing, and you see her go over and a shelf in the corner that you hadn't noticed before. It's got these sort of skins with caps, sort of like a wine boda type of thing, and she's got them hanging on pegs over on this wall, and she's like, "It's a request I've had before," and she's like, "It'll be." Let's see, 2 a day would do ya. So that's 4 silver a day, and the one skin will hold maybe about 3 days worth.
All right. That sounds like something we'll do that before we leave so we get the
Okay.
freshest possible.
Understood. How long will you be staying here in Kiev?
Well, I did not realize that this was a bardic city. And so I would like to look into that.
We do have our fair share of bards. That's true. Yep. You've been talking to Colster, huh?
Yes. So I'm guessing that the whole city is not filled with bards, but that there happens to be a few here.
That is more accurate. Now, however, Vinar the Fantastic, he's sort of ipso facto ruler, and he is a bard. It's true.
Would you
Of
say
quite some
that
talent.
would you say that he is as good of a ruler as he is a bard?
She sort of looks around the room. There's like a couple other people in the back, and I'd say about equal.
So he could technically be a terrible bard.
No, he's. I gotta go see to some stuff, and she goes off again.
All right.
All right, and I think with you guys at the Windy Inn, or the Windy Day Inn, and you guys on your way to Cena in Toulouse, I think that is where we'll end things for tonight. Thank you all for playing. we're, we're we're getting somewhere.
Progress is being made.
Mhm. I think we're
Progress is
getting
definitely being made. Getting some reoccurring characters back in the mix. Getting some lore dumps. It's pretty exciting. All right. Yeah. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time on BND Live.